this is John. Welcome to the weekly Water Outlook, May 11th, 2014. Well, here's the precipitation over the nation over the last 7 days. Some areas it was relatively busy. You can see the areas in yellow and red. Those were the areas of heaviest precipitation. Really the parts of the South Gulf Coast, generally in this area, has been very active. And then the upper Midwest, generally north of this line, has been very active. I've been really interesting to see how active this band has been that started in the winter time with snow and now it continues into the spring. So that's been very busy, and I'm going to show you it's sort of causing some flooding on the mid and upper Mississippi River Basin. Also some welcome precipitation in areas that have been dry right in here. It's not real widespread, but at least some precipitation in that area. Wanted to sort of focus in here over the area over the south. You can see we've had some significant rain here, and we've really had a very sort of dividing line, dry off to the west and along the Gulf, and very wet off to the east here. You can see that here over the last 30 days here. Look at this. We're looking at over a 30-day average of 300% to 400% of normal in this region right here, and then right here 25% of normal. So definitely along the lower Mississippi, western areas dry, eastern areas wet. Now the temperature in the last 7 days, we really had the jet stream bowing to the north, and I'm going to be talking in just a minute about how that's going to radically be changing. But with that jet stream bowing to the north, it allowed much warmer than normal temperatures to push into the nation. And parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, we're looking at 9 degrees or more above normal. Now, especially in Oklahoma and Texas, I'm going to be talking a lot more about feedback. The drier the soils get, the less evaporation and evapotranspiration, less clouds, less precipitation, drier soils, and it sort of feeds on itself. So that's something we're getting early in the season for that, but that's something that's very important. Stream flow is also tied into that feedback, so you see that area that's been very dry. We have very low stream flow, and if I showed soil moisture, you'd see very dry soils in that region as well. The three areas of really enhanced flows, actually four, include the Pacific Northwest, the upper Midwest, upper Mississippi River Basin, parts of the Northeast U.S., and then the Gulf Coast and Florida. I mentioned there was some flooding. You can see here along the Iowa, Illinois river states of those two states, the Mississippi River, areas in red. That's moderate flooding forecast this week. Further downstream from Dubuque, some minor flooding. Further upstream, some high flows, but there's heavy rain forecast in that region this week. So we really see some upward pressure on parts of the mid-Mississippi River Basin. Now, the big story this week is going to be a change in the pattern. This is sort of the remnants of the pattern that produced the above normal temperatures. See the jet stream bowing here. This is going to be the pattern. We're going to have the jet stream dipping here. And just sort of consider when you see areas in blue, that means the jet stream's further south than normal. And that means cooler temperatures. And when the jet stream pushes up to the north, areas of brown, that means the jet stream is further north than normal or warmer temperatures. So generally speaking, blue, cool, and browns and reds, warm. Okay, now when we start the week, you can see that area in blue over the southwest U.S., and as we get towards the middle of the week, you can see that it pushes right over the middle part of the nation. Keep in mind that ahead of that system is going to be a chance of severe weather, heavy rain, and then behind it, cooler temperatures moving in. And then by late this week, you can see it really dominates a large part of the central U.S. and then more and more the eastern U.S., and that's going to be a very prevailing pattern once it moves in this week, well into next week. Now this gives you some reference where that change in the pattern will be on Tuesday. You can see this front is sweeping off to the east. Some chance of severe weather ahead of it, heavy rain ahead of it, but then once it passes through, we're going to be ushering in an extended period of cooler and drier weather over a large part of the nation. So here's your precipitation. forecast. And really, look at this. This is going to be a welcome rain for parts of this region. Now, it would be nice if we had it a little bit further west in the driest conditions over Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. But still, this region of Texas, parts of Oklahoma could use the rain. So very heavy rain, and that'll be the heaviest rain this week. And then upper Midwest is going to keep the pressure on those stream flow in the Mississippi River right in this reach right here, and then off into the northeast U.S., the Ohio Valley, and even parts of the southeast U.S. Pockets of heavy rain this week. Now, I haven't showed this. I don't expect much snow, but there is some snow in Colorado as I prepare this briefing, and there could be some little areas of snowflakes, some snow flurries here and there in that colder air over the upper Midwest early this week. Okay, so let's go through the next couple of weeks just to look for any big trends. Over the next 7 days, I think I've described the areas in green above normal precipitation, so fairly widespread areas of above normal precipitation until that system moves through. Then once it moves through, it looks like we're going into a drier period over a large part of the area as indicated in yellow. Now, the upper Midwest still could have some lighter precipitation. I have to keep an eye on that, but it looks like a very large part of the nation as we get into the middle part of the month, into the latter part of the month, fairly dry. Now, look how widespread temperatures are expected to be below normal in blue this week once that system pushes in, and it looks like it's going to be slow to exit out of the region. So we're looking at through May 21st, a large part of the nation below normal temperatures. And then finally, the very latter part of the week, last week, it looks like it moderates back as that low begins to diminish. So it looks like a prolonged period of below normal temperatures, strong pattern change as that trough builds into the central part of the U.S., heavy rain prior to it pushing in, and then cooler and drier behind it. I'll be looking at the long-range outlook again this Thursday, and if you have any questions, you can contact me here, John at BlueWaterOutlook.com. Hope you have a nice week. I'll be providing a briefing again next weekend.